This training will review the features that all responding personnel should be aware of regarding Gaylord's fire control room. We will also discuss the fire department considerations for the control room in the event of a fire at this complex.
Hi, my name is TJ Yankee with Meridian Fire and Security. We're here at the Gaylord Rockies to discuss the fire alarm system with the fireworks software, the area of refuge, as well as smoke control. During our walkthrough today, we're going to go ahead and show you guys the fire pump room, the wand doors. Those are the fire doors that drop during the fire alarm system. Well, my name is TJ Yankee. I'm with Meridian Fire. We're here to go over the fire alarm functionalities, smoke control, area of refuge, as well as fireworks. We'll start with firework with the EST fireworks system. This is your standard fire alarm system. It has your reset, alarm silence, panel silence, and fire drill. It also has buttons for alarm, supervisory, trouble, and monitor. What those are is it swaps to those screens. So if you're in a supervisory, but now you got alarms coming in, you can push the alarm button. It's going to give you all your alarms on file. Keep in mind that with any other fire alarm system, you're also going to have the last, or your last incident is going to be on the top. So it'll always show you what just happened. This system is separated within your disables, as well as your floor paging, with hotel on top, convention center on the bottom. If you're in alarm, these disable buttons will not work. You have to clear the alarm first before you can disable any of these, any of the other functions. That being said, if you guys are out here and you're going to see some functionality, hit your disables first, go through your function of smoking a detector or pulling a pull station or running water flow. Then that way you're not evacuating a building at that time. The floor paging, what that does is you push floor page, LED comes on, pick up that mic, key into it, and then you can speak your message, and it's only going to speak over that specific floor. If you wanted to isolate hotel versus convention center, it has a hotel all call. It has a convention center all call. What that means is now you're speaking through every speaker on every floor, every common area, per hotel or per convention site. If you want to speak throughout the entire complex, you have an all call button right next to the mic. Pick up the mic, key into it, now you can go ahead and speak your message. Any questions on the fire panel?
Is there pre-recorded messages at all?
No pre-recorded other than the alarm state. So we're going to move over from the fire panel over to fireworks, since these two kind of communicate back and forth to each other. So what you see from the fire panel is exactly what you're going to see over on fireworks. So the fireworks station, the blue outline, that is the good outline. That's what you want to see when you come in. That's a normal state. I'm going to emulate a fire alarm. So now you're going to see the red flashing area. So there's now a fire alarm in the hotel side. Click within that grid. Tells you that it's level 2. Level 1 is the basement. You are on level 2. And then so on up. Click on level 2, gives you that grid. Click on that grid, it gives you that smoke detector right there. So right now it's giving you the back of house, BOH kitchen, H0202, and you know your back of house because you're right by the sports bar. Click on that icon there. It gives you your device address, smoke level 2, H for hotel, back of house kitchen, H0202. So there's the location you guys would probably want to get to and find out what's truly giving us the problem. That also being said, what you see there is also what you're going to have highlighted within your screen. It's going to give you the same exact thing. You're going to see the same thing on the fire command as well. If you're ever lost within fireworks and you're not sure what grid you're in, you have multiple buttons that are up here. That takes you back one screen. That'll take you back 2 screens. That'll take you all the way back to the original site map. So now you're back to the very beginning. So if you're ever lost within the program, just take it to the top and start over. So the smoke control panel here at the Gaylord, it will not operate unless it's in true alarm. You have what's going to trip the smoke control panel is your heats, smoke, and water flow. This is isolated by each floor, 15th floor all the way down. Pressurization fans are indicated by SPF plus that fan number that's on the roof, or you have it as an SEF for smoke exhaust fan. You have your AHUs. You also have your, where did I go? Multiple SEFs, I'm sorry. But top row in white are all going to be your pressurization or exhaust fans. The yellow are going to be your elevator smoke relief dampers. The side that's in gray, that's going to be your supply and your exhaust fan or exhaust damper switches. So you can actually start manually opening or closing them as you guys see fit during the fire. When there is a fire, if there's a smoke detector or anything that goes off on the 10th floor, you're going to have activation of the floor above, floor below, floor of incident. So those fans will then start, those will change state and will be the same state within, again, floor above, floor below, floor of incident. If you wanted to choke out the fire, you can then kill that fan, close all your dampers, let it choke, or again, however you guys see fit to fight that fire. But once it's an alarm, you have full control of this panel.
So when it goes in full alarm, it's going to create positive or negative pressure on the. It's an
Positive
exhaust
pressure.
mode.
You're going to have your pressurizations will turn on as well as your exhaust fan. So you're pressurizing your stairwells and your hoistways, and then your exhaust fan per that floor.
The exhaust fan will
The
turn
exhaust fans will be on, but the dampers per that floor will then open up the exhaust dampers. So you're going to feel that air pressure within that floor.
on.
So yeah, so the exhaust fans, pressurization fans, on any alarm, all the fans kick on. Once you guys arrive on site, that's going to be up to you guys on how you guys want to fight the fire. Notice here, there's a separation within the exhaust fans with the smoke purge dampers. Reason why we have that separation is because we have the atrium. There's no longer a common hallway. So now you have two separate controls versus north versus south. Okay, Area Refuge is a phone system that is used on every elevator lobby other than your main floor of egress, and then also every 5th floor of every stairwell within the hotel. Area Refuge, somebody with ADA isn't able to utilize the stairs. They're going to push a call box outside the elevator lobbies or within that stairwell. You're going to get a phone call here first. So the call box calls down here, and if nobody here is to pick up, it then calls our monitoring station, which then dispatches you guys. So if somebody on the 15th floor pushes a button, they don't answer, monitoring errs on the side of caution and dispatches you guys to come out anyways, because they don't know if somebody is truly in distress. They're going to dispatch you guys. This will not communicate any history to the fire alarm panel. So if you guys show up and you had an alarm on the 15th floor, but yet the fire alarm system does not have any history of that, try and refer back to the Area of Refuge. If you see any LEDs on, blue light means you're online, red light means you're on hold. Flashing means it's talking to the monitoring center. Okay? And that will be on per floor, per call box. So the only time this is monitored is if it loses phone lines or it loses backup battery. We're going to see an alarm supervisory that comes on for the fire alarm system. Other than that, there's no history. Here we are located outside elevator HS13 on the 15th floor. This is considered one of our area of refuge based on our call box as well as the containment doors. So as we discussed before, down in Fire Command, the area of refuge has call boxes that calls down to the command center. This is one of our call boxes located on the 15th floor outside of HS13. By pressing this button, it is going to contact the command center down below. If nobody is inside command center, it's then going to hang up and then contact the monitoring station. It is a pre-recorded message that's located per floor, per call box. Is going to activate on the hotel side of the fire alarm. So meaning any heat detector, flow alarm, or a smoke detector, this will then close. It's not a spring-loaded door, so nobody's going to get hit, you know, at a sudden impact. It does shoot out, but it doesn't shoot out at a rapid pace. It's enough to where these fine people can actually walk through without getting pinned. Once the door is shut, you only have one way of operation during the alarm, and that's through the key switch. So you can now manually override open and closing here. This door, if you were to pull out that key once you have it open, and you pulled out that key but we're still in alarm, it's gonna, after a few seconds, it's gonna revert back to the alarm state. So it's gonna close again. So be sure, before you guys pull the key out, we actually have the alarm reset. By resetting it, go back to the fire command, reset your panel, make sure all the red lights are off, and then you can go ahead and remove your key. So here's your pump room. The pump room feeds water for both the convention center as well as the hotel side. It's the only pump room that's on campus here. You have your fire controller, you have your isolating switch, you also have your disconnection means. Down below is your manual override. So if you guys obviously aren't getting enough pressure, or the pump keeps kicking on and off and you need that pressure, go ahead and flip that up, push the pin in. Now your pump's constantly running. So when you guys are done, make sure that gets
reset. With manual systems, it's important that once you identify the alarm, that you scroll back into the alarm history. The floor that the alarm panel is indicating may not be the original floor that the fire started on. So you want to make sure that you scroll back in the history and see what the original alarm was. The lowest one or the first one's typically going to be the one where the fire started, and that's where you want to start your investigation. With the fireworks system, which we find at Gaylord and other high-rise buildings throughout the city, identifying the history of where the fire started is a little bit easier. One, you can see the visual of the screen. It shows a fire on level 2. If it showed multiple levels, then it gives us an idea where we need to investigate. And then we can also go to the monitor screen here, and it's going to give you a timetable and a list of what alarms are active right now and where those alarms started. And we're looking at their HVAC panel. This is the smoke control panel that we would use in case of a fire. Although this panel is specific to this property, it's not much different than you'll see in a lot of the other high-rises. And our policy states that the number one thing that we want to do is, if we don't know where the location of the fire is that we want to shut everything down. There are automatic controls on this system. They're designed to evacuate smoke. They're not necessarily designed for fire, so they can actually draw a fire and actually can create a flow path. So we want to make sure that we're shutting that down. If we know the location of the fire, then we might be able to narrow down the amount of floors that we're shutting down, but if not, shut everything down is the first step that you want to do. The way that you shut those down is you identify each of the knobs, whichever ones you're going to need, and you're just going to turn them to the off position. You can power them up later. Hopefully you have somebody from building engineering here, and you can work with them. They're going to help you identify a better way to do that. But if not, we're just going to start shutting everything down. If you know where the fire is, then you can probably narrow your focus down. Once we've controlled everything, we've got whatever we need shut down, then we want to make sure that we pressurize our stairwells. Then we can start thinking about pressurizing other floors, making sure that we don't create a flow path. And once we have got control of the fire's under control, we've got a majority of the fire knocked down, then we can start thinking about using the system to exhaust smoke on multiple floors. We don't want to do that until we know they've got control of the fire, because then we open up a flow path and we can create more trouble.